This is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This one is my January leaderboard deck, so it is going to have an alt art Unsuspecting Prey in Untamed. The other houses are Logos and Shadows, and it's called Tech Boost, She Who Speaks of the Zone. And I want to follow that up with Auto Zone. But yeah, Tech Boost, She Who Speaks of the Zone. And I did already get a look at this, but I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. Of course, the way if you get a leaderboard deck, it's going to come without the box, because that is how they are delivered to the store, in one, big rectangular box that has 12 decks in it. 4 for each of the 3 months that are covered. Oh boy. This is not wanting to go. Alright, there it goes. So yeah, you'll get to see the alt art Unsuspecting Prey, which I know people have already seen online, but it's still cool. So, starting off in Logos, we have Babbling Bibliophile. 1 power Cyborg Scientist with Reap, draw 2 cards. Really nice if you can keep it on the board. Edie, always love to see that. It's a 3 power AI Scientist with play, archive a card, and then it says your opponent's keys cost +1 amber for each card in your archives. Really nice. We have a Hapsis. This is a 5 power mutant scientist that says after an enemy creature is destroyed fighting Hapsis, ward it and draw a card. So that's great if you can get it rolling. Information Exchange is an action that steals an amber, but if your opponent stole from you on the last turn, you steal 2 instead. Quant is a 3 power human scientist with Reap. You may play 1 non-logos action card this turn. Well, we know we're getting at least 1 action. We're getting Unsuspecting Prey. We have 2 Quants. I think that's going to be pretty good. Wild Wormhole is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you play the top card of your deck. Super cool. Anomaly Exploiter is an action, or is an artifact that exhausts to destroy a damaged creature. Memory Chip is an artifact that says after you choose Logos as your active house, archive a card. This is, this is our sort of consistent archive, that pairs well with the Edie if we can keep the Edie on the board. Quantum Finger Trap gives you a bonus amber. It's an artifact, and it can exhaust to swap the position of 2 creatures in a battle line, so you can affect yours or your opponent's. We have Master the Theory. So this is an action with a bonus amber, and it says if there are no friendly creatures in play, you may archive a card for each enemy creature. And that's going to be really nice if you have an Edie ready to come out. I don't love it because playing it means I'm in a situation where my opponent has a bunch of creatures and I don't. And I don't like being in that situation. So it's iffy, but it gives a bonus amber anyway, and if you can pull it off, get that nice archive set up for when your Edie comes out, then that's really nice. And then we have Mimic Gel. So Mimic Gel is a 0 power creature. It's a shapeshifter and mutant. It can't be played unless there is another creature in play, and it enters play as a copy of another creature in play, except it belongs to House Logos. So of course it can come in as one of our own creatures. Edie might be a good choice if we're worried about controlling key cost. We might want another Hapsis, maybe another Babbling Bibliophile, although that seems risky. And of course you can also copy your opponent's creatures as well. And we'll kind of, as we go through, we'll point out some other creatures that might be nice to Mimic Gel. And that's it for Logos. On to Shadows. So we have Avenda. That's a 4 power elf thief with Reap. Deal 1 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. We have Mug, which gives you an amber and moves an amber from a creature to your pool, and then you deal 2 damage to that creature. We don't have, I don't think, yep. we have a little bit of capture that we might see later. Ronnie Wrist Clocks. 2-power Elf Thief with play, steal, and amber. If your opponent has 7 or more, steal 2 instead. That wouldn't be bad to mimic gel in the right circumstances. We have 2 Umbras. I wouldn't mind having a mimic gel, one of those, to be able to do that on a Logos turn, although they're low power enough, I worry. Then we have Brend. That could be an interesting one. Brend is a 3-power Elf Thief with Skirmish. When you play it, your opponent gains an amber. When it's destroyed, you steal 3. And yeah, so if we, under the right circumstances, getting to mimic gel Brend could be quite nice. Anytime I see a Brend in a deck, I immediately start looking for ways to kill it, and there are some ways here. Into the Night is an action that says until the start of your next turn, non-shadows creatures cannot be used to fight. So this is a way to keep your opponent from blowing you up for a turn. Really nice if you can drop your Umbras and play this. That's probably one of the ideal situations. Special Delivery is an artifact with a bonus amber. It has Omni, sacrifice it, deal 3 damage to a flank creature. If this damage destroys that creature, purge it. Really nice way to deal with stuff. This, by the way, can kill Brend. I don't know that I'd want to do it because it would also purge the Brend, but it would destroy it, and the destroyed ability would trigger even though it's going to be purged, because the purge happens after it's finished being destroyed, whereas the destroyed ability triggers before it leaves the table. Then we have actually 2 copies of Spike Trap, and these are really nice ways to deal with the Brends. And I could even imagine a situation where you have a Brend on one side of the table and you put a Mimic Gel on the other side and then pop your Spike Traps. So they're artifacts, they give you a bonus amber, and they have Omni, sacrifice Spike Trap. If you do, deal 3 damage to each flank creature. So that is pretty cool. I'm realizing this is a lot of artifacts. There aren't any coming up in Untamed, but that's 3 in Shadows and 3 in Logos. So I guess 6 total. That's not crazy, but I bet it's more than average. Treasure Map is an action with a bonus amber. If you have not played any other cards this turn, gain 3 amber, and for the remainder of the turn you can't play cards. So potentially it's a 4 amber gain, but then you can't play any other cards. So yeah, potentially pretty cool. And by the way, can be played with Quant. Soak and Mug, which we covered, or Into the Night. Then we have Last Shadows card. We have Logos Plant. This is a 1-power Elf Thief with Elusive, and it says after a player chooses Logos as their active house, gain an amber. Pretty cool. Yeah. Probably not going to be my Mimic Gel choice. Alright, Untamed. We have Bramble Lynx. That's a 3-power beast with Skirmish. And if you have used a creature to reap this turn, Bramble Lynx enters play ready. So really nice if we can reap and then play this. 3-power Skirmish can be a nice way to get some board control, but of course it can also reap. Harmonia is a 2-power Human Witch with Elusive. After you play a creature, if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, you gain an amber. Important notes. I think enough people played Worlds Collide enough at this point to know this stuff, but I'll cover it anyway. Hunting Witch says each other creature you play. So it doesn't count itself, but it counts everything after it, and it doesn't care how many creatures are on the board. Harmonia does care about the relationship in creature numbers between you and your opponent, but it can count itself. So if your opponent has, let's say, 2 creatures and you play Harmonia, you gain that 1 amber for playing Harmonia. Now if you play a second creature, you now have an equal number, so you don't get any. It's elusive, and after you play a creature, if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, gain an amber. Then we have 2 copies of Molefin. This is nice AntiSteal. It's a 3-power beast with Hazardous 3, and it says after amber is stolen from you, deal 1 damage to each enemy creature for each amber stolen. Very nice. Unnatural Selection is our main board control here. It is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you choose 3 friendly creatures and 3 enemy creatures, and you destroy each other creature. So pick 3 that live on each side, kill everything else. And here is our alt art Unsuspecting Prey. Beautiful. I love it. I love it's like quicksand and then sharks coming up out of the quicksand, and it looks kind of like sorry, I was holding it wrong there. It looks like almost like a squirrel, maybe a marmo, that's getting eaten by that ferocious looking sand shark. The sand shark looks kind of like a cross between a shark and like a beaver almost. Those teeth are weird. Yeah, so anyway, Unsuspecting Prey is an action that says play, deal 2 damage to up to 3 undamaged creatures. Really nice for dealing with those pesky little 1/2 power elusive annoying creatures. We just have one of those. Then we have a Mimicry, which is an action that says when you play it, treat it as a copy of an action card in your opponent's discard pile. I think it's super fun. Oh, by the way, I forgot. The Molefins, well, Harmonia, you might want to Mimic Gel that, but Mimic Gelling to have a 3rd Molefin sounds pretty crazy. I love, though, Mimicry lets you copy an action from your opponent's discard pile, and Mimic Gel lets you copy one of their potentially if you want. So there's some really interesting stuff here where this deck will kind of get better depending on what you're playing against. We have a Panpaca, which is a 3-power beast with Skirmish, and it gives creatures to the left of it on the battle line Skirmish as well, which could be really nice. We don't have any. I don't think we have any. We don't have any big creatures in here. The biggest creature we have is Hapsis, and giving Hapsis Skirmish, by the way, is very nice. That sounds very nice, but yeah, that is everything else is. Oh, Aven does 4. Everything else is 1, 2, or 3. So we're not going to be doing a lot of blow everything up, but at least giving our stuff Skirmish gives us a little bit of a fighting chance. I think we really rely heavily on the Unnatural Selection and the Unsuspecting Prey here. Then we have, this is kind of crazy, 3 copies of Wild Spirit. That's pretty bonkers. Wild Spirit's an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it gives the creature reap, gain 1, or capture. Sorry, it gives it reap, capture, and amber. Yeah, that is pretty cool. I think in my ideal world, I want to put this on creatures that I want to reap with anyway, or creatures I don't want to do other things with, like maybe Avinda, maybe the Ronnie. Maybe I want to put it on Babbling Bibliophile, and then really hope it doesn't die. But you can do some interesting stuff there. Notice if you have done that, you can use Mug to pull the stuff off. Oh, and once again, I forgot to think about things in terms of quant. Mimicry, Unsuspecting Prey, Unnatural Selection all work great with quant. Wild Spirit works good with quant too. And then lastly, we have another artifact. Oh, I guess this is our 7th artifact. This is Creed of Nurture, and I think this is my first time opening this. It's an artifact. It is a power trait, and it has Omni. Sacrifice it. If you do, reveal a creature from your hand and choose a creature in play. For the remainder of the turn, the chosen creature gains the text box of the revealed creature. So, for example, you could give an additional creature the Harmonia text, or the Skirmish text from Panpaca, from Panpaca, or you'd probably just want to play the Panpaca. You could give you could give another creature that destroyed Steel 3 from Brend. That is interesting. Wow, yes. If you have Brend in your hand, use Creed of Nature on your Molefin, suddenly it has destroyed Steel 3. From the Brend. That'd be interesting. You can maybe you get some value out of giving it Avinda's ability. Umbra, that wouldn't be bad. Or the Quant ability, or the Hapsis ability. That'd be interesting too. for the remainder of the... Yeah, those are... Oh, or Babbling Bibliophile. Yeah, those are all some nice options there. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this works out. I think this deck cares a bit about ordering, but the Mimic Gel has some good options. Who knows what options it'll get from your opponent, and fun stuff to go around. And once again, there's that cool alt art Unsuspecting Prey. Well, thanks for watching. This was Tech Boost, She Who Speaks of the Zone, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it and that you'll get out and forge some keys.